Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Wednesday. This is Game Day Live, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios inside the bunker. Undisclosed location, beautiful New Jersey. And Vinnie's new bunker as well, with the beautiful lighting that I'm actually jealous of, in Chicago, Illinois. Stream it live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, Twitch, and now on Instagram Live on the Let's Go Devils Network as the Devils take on the Vegas Golden Knights in Vegas tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern start. Sorry for the delay, folks. Vinny, did you notice I didn't put the 2-minute warning music? Because, you know, Nick Villano and James Nichols there were just gabbing like old hens on State of the Fan Address. And I highly suggest everybody in the morning commute tomorrow to listen to that interview because it was juicy.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you get a good reporter like James Nichols and Nick Villano together, you're going to get some magic. I like to think a lot of the things I learned both in the podcast game and in the writing game have come from Nick Villano, as well as yourself. Obviously, you know that. But, yeah, make sure you go listen to it if you haven't already. I was listening to it before the show. Heard Nick Villano going off a little bit before James Nichols came on, too, about the Quinn Hughes trade. You're going to want to get in there and listen to that once you're done listening to this show, or wait till after the Devils game. I would understand that as well.
And as you know, as all that stuff, you know, after the fact about Quinn Hughes, this podcast almost got it right on a lot of things about the timing, what was happening. We did an educated guess of who's going where, you know, like what was offered. But in the end, you know, it all became about money. And also, you know what? One team wanted him more badly than the other, it seems like. That time ran out. They didn't want to trade Quinn Hughes after the Devils played Vancouver last Sunday. So everything's starting to make sense right now, you know, and it's quite interesting, you know, how it all, you know, played out. But in the end, I think Tom Fitzgerald's, I think he may have got lucky here and didn't pull the trigger in a lot of respects, because now that he can concentrate on getting the players that they really need at the moment.
So what you're saying is Tom Fitzgerald tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it didn't really matter.
I think what I'm saying is there's a lot here. I think Tom Fitzgerald was in the game. He had the upper hand. He had the favorability. The Vancouver Canucks handed it to him on a silver platter because Minnesota's deal was better for the most part because Tom Fitzgerald didn't have really the assets that they were acquiring. So, you know, it's kind of like buying a home, Vinny. There's comps. They got a better offer here, but they really want to live here. Quinn really wants to live in New Jersey. Something didn't. Then they had to make the move. There was an internal deadline, obviously, and Jim Rutherford got the deal done with Bill Guerin. Bill Guerin was making meatballs when he got the news. So, you know, obviously Vancouver made the decision right there, then and there. You know, the rest is history. But I think in the short term, I think Fitzy has some time to totally redeem himself. But if he doesn't, the impact on the New Jersey Devils could be so huge that it could alter the face of the franchise. Because what happens if Quinn Hughes rips it up in Minnesota? He gets all the preferential treatment, the first-class treatment, and his two brothers are like, is it that cold in Minnesota? You know, that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, the nice thing is, I mean, Jack is locked up till 2030, and Luke is locked up till 2032. So it's not like a decision like that is going to be made during the truest of prime for Jack specifically. So you know,
but they
there's a
can
lot of time to
complain.
work all this
They
out.
can make everybody's lives a living hell. You know.
Yeah. Do you think it's in their character to do that though?
I didn't think it was in Quinn's character to talk about other GMs sacking up and making the. So I don't know. That surprised me.
Think about it from his perspective, though. The Canucks essentially traded 4 first-round picks for him. Because Rossi, Ogren, and Bouillon were all first-round picks. And
Minnesota.
Or Minnesota, sorry.
Yeah.
And they gave an additional undrafted first-round pick. I mean, they did the respect for Quinn Hughes in that trade is there. And so for him to say it publicly, I almost I get what he's saying. He's right. He should feel good about that. And he should, if the Wild is a place where he wants to stay, that's a reason. That's like a check mark in the Minnesota Wild's box for him.
Yeah.
If you're weighing pros and cons of, what reasons to stay, reasons to go in 2 years for Quinn, one of the reasons to stay for sure is loyalty for a team giving up that much stuff for you. So, Max says in the chat that it's going to be 6 degrees in St. Paul and snowing tomorrow. It was 0 in Chicago 2 days ago. So, I have no sympathy or, I understand what Quinn and the Wild will be going through in that regard.
Yeah, and in New Jersey on Friday, it's going to be 55 degrees at the high. I think
nice.
I think the polar vortex is now leaving New Jersey. I'm seeing the temperatures getting higher.
I hope it gets like that here. It's a balmy 35 degrees right now here, and it felt excellent today. Excellent.
Well, it's good. Yeah, it's amazing how your body starts to adapt. It's 12 degrees out, but I'm not wearing my jacket outside, because I'm used to it now. It's weird.
Yeah, 100%. No, today I did some moving around in the garage, some boxes and stuff, and took care of some stuff in the front. Garage open, short sleeve shorts. It felt amazing. I think it probably got close to 40 in the late afternoon. And it's wow, if it was 40 degrees in September, you'd have a coat on, sweatpants. But when you get to December and January, it feels amazing.
So you had your garage door open. You didn't have it down? I'm trying to make a joke there.
I get what you're saying.
All right. Anyway, just an inside joke from the wedding. Anyway.
Yeah, no. I didn't lock myself in it at all.
I've locked myself in the bathroom on the plane ride to Chicago. I actually almost locked myself in the plane bathroom because there's no room. There's just no room, and you know how the door is a little tricky to open.
I've never used it, and I never will.
Really? I heard that's a bacteria haven.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The plane bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I don't think there are any circumstances I would use it. Maybe if we went to Ireland and I had to, which is possible, or Italy coming up in the next year or so for me, especially in the summer. Maybe I would bite the bullet in number 1, but I think I could hold it. I really do.
Even a number 2, you would hold it on the plane?
I just wouldn't eat. I would just make sure I'm clean. Oh. I really think so. I'm not a full-blown germaphobe. I'm not Howie Mandel giving everyone fist bumps.
Yeah.
But I'm a tick below, I would say. I'm a tick below.
Okay.
Sam's like, okay, next topic.
Game Day Live exclusive. Vinnie Parise will not take a number 2 on the plane. I didn't think that I'd say that on Game Day Live today.
No, and there are people probably like, these guys are like 15 minutes into the show and they haven't mentioned the Devils game tonight once.
Yeah. Well, one more thing about
trying to avoid it.
Do you want to know a quirk of mine on the airplane? It's so
What's
stupid. That? Years ago, there was this movie called Delta Force by Chuck Norris. One of the very few movies I actually watched. And basically, they had a bunch of terrorists on that plane. And before that, somebody boarded the plane, one of the workers, and stashed all the weapons in the bathroom. So anytime, when the captain, bing, boom, you can go to the bathroom now, once they, reach that point. I always watch to see the first person to go to the bathroom, or I try to be the first person to go to the bathroom just to see if the weapons are really there. It's kind of a stupid quirk of mine. Yeah.
And I guess if you're the first, the germ thing isn't as big of an issue, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, let's get to the game. So the Devils are playing the Vegas Golden Knights tonight. Brett Pesce will be back in the lineup. I think that's a great news, but Gritsik is on IR. Shimon Nemec is going to be out for a while. So the injuries still continue, but you're getting some guys back. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think Brett Pesce can be a consequential player. You're not going to get offense from him that will always keep him from being like a number 1 or maybe even a number 2 defenseman. I always saw him as like the perfect number 3, really. On this Devils team right now, he might be the number 2 with how well he plays defensively, and we'll see how he plays with Luke Hughes tonight. I think that could be a great pair because Hughes is known to be more of a riverboat gambler type defenseman. I don't think he's ever going to be like a defensive stalwart. I don't know if it'll ever even develop the way Quinn has in terms of his defending. But there's no doubt he has the puck skills to be an impact player. And if you put him with a guy like Pesce, I think you'll see more of that. So I think a return like that can obviously really help the team. And then obviously the only thing that could be more impactful than that would be, which I believe there was a morning woo on the topic, Jack Hughes coming back a little earlier than expected.
Yeah, and you know what? Sheldon Keefe trying to hold everything close to the vest, and then suddenly Darren Dreger just like completely blew up his spot. When it's not going to happen, and then obviously that leaked video that was out there with Jack and Brett, practicing by themselves, and everything looks A-okay. Guys are coming back. That's a positive. I'm kind of glad this Quinn saga is over, but is there any collateral damage with that, knowing that Tom Fitzgerald probably asked a couple players or had in mind a couple players if they want to be traded?
Yeah, I think if you're Dougie Hamilton or Andre Palat, you've been around, right?
Yeah.
You've played in big games. You've played in Stanley Cup Finals. You've won Stanley Cups if you're Palat. I mean, it's a business. You don't have a no move clause. Well, they do have a no move clause, but guys get asked to waive it all the time. It's in good faith that it's in the contract. Guys are not obligated to waive it. They did not for certain situations. So no, I'd be surprised if there was like true animosity, because at the end of the day, every GM's trying to make their team better and avoid getting fired themselves. And obviously, if Andre Palat or Dougie Hamilton have a brain, they would know that shedding their cap in order to add a player like Quinn Hughes would be good for the betterment of the Devils. Or even if it's not Quinn Hughes, another player, forward, center, Ryan O'Reilly, Tage Thompson, whoever it is, Alex Tuck, you would know that they're doing it with the purpose of trying to make the New Jersey Devils better. It's not personal.
Yeah. Also, Jack Eichel and Shea Theodore both out tonight. Considered day-to-day, but for the Devils' sake, that's probably a relief.
Well, it is Vegas' best forward and their best defenseman.
Yeah.
That doesn't really always mean something because the Vegas Golden Knights still have Mitch Marner, and they still have Tomas Hertl, and they still have lots of other players around their lineup that can make an impact on, winning games and, being really one of the top teams in the league. So down the middle, without Wild Bill, William Karlsson, they are a little thin. Brett Howden's a good player, but they still have Tomas Hertl on the second line with Dorofeyev and Barbashev. But that top line, Brett Howden's going to come up and play top line center with Mitch Marner and Mark Stone. That's a really good line. Stone and Marner are like Team Canada guys. They are for a reason. I think without Eichel, their depth takes a slight hit. Riley Smith is going to play center with Bowman and Saad. Cole Reinhardt will play with Colton Sissons and Keegan Colasar on the fourth line. This is just a team, they grind you out. They find ways to win hockey games. Noah Hannafin's going to be the number one defenseman with Shea Theodore out. They do have McNabb, Zach Whitecloud, Ben Hutton. So it's a really, really good group, and the Devils are going to have to play a really strong game to beat them, even without Jack Eichel and Shea Theodore.
Yeah, and who's going to be in goal for Vegas?
According to Daily Faceoff, it is going to be Carter Hart.
Carter Hart's in goal? Okay. I thought he got hurt on his first night back.
I watched him play. Yeah, he's starting against he was the first goalie off this morning. He played against Columbus on the 13th. I watched him play. I actually watched Carter Hart's first full game back. It was against the Chicago Blackhawks, so I had no choice. I did not refer to him by name in any of my tweets or articles. I just called him Vegas's goalie.
Oh, really?
I mean, kind of tongue in cheek, but I mean, his return is not popular around the NHL world.
Oh,
Same thing.
yeah.
I saw Cal Foote scored for the Chicago Wolves today, too. That did not go over well in the comments.
Yeah, what my big worry was for your wedding, that would be his debut when they played the Devils. Yeah. Yeah, but I was like, oh, thank goodness get that out of the way, because I didn't want that to be the headliner, going into that game, and
sure.
and we're doing Game Day Live, but it all worked itself out because I think he started on that Tuesday. You're the week of your wedding. So,
yeah.
But
can you imagine if Quinn Hughes got traded during the wedding? It was a week later. It was a week later, almost to the minute of the ceremony.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, when it first happened, that was one of the first things that popped. Once I accepted the fact that it wasn't the Devils, I was like, if this would have happened a week ago to the minute, we would have had problems.
Or you picked December 12th to get married. It could have been very possible.
Yeah. Now that it's somewhat of a blur, but it wouldn't shock me if going back in time, that was in consideration. We knew we wanted one of the Fridays in December. So yeah, I guess it could have been a thing, but I mean, the way life works out in favor. Yeah, it was 6:34, so cocktail hour was just coming to an end.
Can you imagine that happened? I probably would have sent somebody close to you to walk up right when you're about to begin and just kind of whisper in your ear like you're the president of the United States, like something's happening.
Yeah,
and wish it like
when they whispered. Yeah,
with Bush in front of those kindergarten kids,
Yep.
Whisper. It'd be like this. Vinnie, Quinn's been traded to the Minnesota Wild.
And I just got to walk out through all the celebrations while thinking in the back of my head Quinn Hughes is a member of the Minnesota.
And then you're looking in the back.
Who'd they give up for him?
Yeah, and you're looking in the back, and we're We're not even sitting in our seats. We're all scrambling.
Why is table 12 empty? I didn't tell them to do a third podcast. The Minnesota Wild did what? They gave up Zeev? No way.
You know what I would have done? I would have extended that XLR cable to the DJ booth, and then everybody could hear it. They stopped the music and all that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Play some. Play Wild's goal song. I think their goal song played at my wedding. Shout.
Is that their goal song?
That's their goal song.
I thought they still stuck with. I thought they stuck with Prince for a while.
No, it was crowd chant, Satriani, then it was Prince, then it went back to crowd chant, and now it's shout. Hey, hey! I couldn't forget when they played the Bruins that first game with Quinn Hughes in the lineup. We heard it plenty of times.
Oh, speaking of music, seriously, I'm starting to really like the Utah Mammoths playing Feliz Navidad during a fight. That's old. That's old time hockey, man.
Oh, big time.
That's old time hockey. You know,
yep. There's a lot of things in terms of hockey, non-hockey operations that the Utah Mammoth just get.
Yeah,
they just understand. They understand the crowd. They understand their audience. They understand young hockey, fans. Feliz Navidad during a fight is very funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. Apparently puck drop is scheduled for 10:22. You know what? I don't know how I'm going to survive tonight because I got Devils After Dark after the game, and then I got to get up and then the morning woo the next morning or a few hours later, let's just say. That's just going to be Max is saying, attention on the dance floor, attention on the dance floor. Quinn Hughes has been traded to the Wild. I repeat, Quinn Hughes has been traded to the Wild.
Someone would have told Marty, the DJ, to announce that. Someone would have.
Yeah.
And there would have been enough people there who cared deeply about this transaction that it would have become like a conversation piece for the people attending. I know for a fact. There are at least 20 people who would have deeply, deeply been impacted by that news.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people don't realize this, Sam. I don't even know if you're as well aware of this as some. There was a part of my life where I don't have any proof around me right now. This room isn't in the perfect order that it will be when it's, at its perfect man cave level. But there was a portion of my life, a good 8 years, I would say, where the Minnesota Wild, I was one of those two-team people. Like, the New Jersey Devils always were number one. I never even thought twice about them not being. But for a long time, the Minnesota Wild were very important to me. I wanted Zach Parise to win the Stanley Cup so bad, where when they weren't playing the Devils, I watched every single game. I watched 82 Wild games and 82 Devils games every single year for about 8 years. Now I still tune in. I like them. I have a soft spot for them. I like watching Edmonton. I obviously watch every Blackhawks game for work. I like watching Toronto. I wouldn't say I don't have a second favorite team anymore. It's just the Devils, and then whatever's popular, whatever's, good storytelling. But for a good 8 years there, the Wild were firmly like my second favorite team, if you will. I know that's sacrilegious I was a kid. I was young. I was in my teens, early 20s. But
I loved the Minnesota North Stars. I think Mark Tenorti was on that team. Like, we're talking years ago. I had three teams that I really liked growing up. My favorite original six team, Montreal Canadiens.
Sure.
Just because two languages, the history.
And Brodeur was clearly a Canadiens fan, even while he was playing.
Yeah. I mean, I was a Canadiens fan, like a casual fan, like out before Brodeur was a goalie of the Devils.
Yeah.
And probably because of Patrick Waugh, and Chris Chelios, back in the day.
Sure.
My two other teams were actually expansion teams. I would even say I did like the Lightning for a little bit just because they had Manon Rhéaume, that one game. But the two teams I really liked, the Phoenix Coyotes because of Keith Tkachuk, and the other team, which I loved, the Florida Panthers.
Oh,
John Van Beesbrook, Jovo Cop, Ed Jovanovski,
loved Jovanovski.
Scott Mellenby. It was an amazing 96 team. I just wish they did something against the Avalanche. That team was freaking awesome. Just awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And then Pavel Bure eventually got to that team, and, just amazing. Like, I still have that, soft spot for the Florida Panthers, just because their goal song used to be the Hey song, but they always timed it right with the Panther growl. That's what, So that's what, because that was the same goal song as the Devils. But Keith Tkachuk, with the Phoenix Coyotes, and then they got Jeremy Roenick. I mean, that was those were good times. The NHL back then.
Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with having soft spots for other teams. I thought about it. I would have a team that I would say, just in solidarity with Joey, the Bruins, if they're not playing the Devils and they're not impacting the Devils spot in the standings. We like to give them crap when they play each other. Of course, they're my least favorite team when they play each other. But, and I know people from New York will never root for a team from Boston, or New Jersey will never root for a team from Boston. I don't live there. I wasn't born there. I'm an adopted son. So I have no problem rooting for the Bruins when they're not playing the Devils, too. It's mainly the Bruins, Devils, Blackhawks. I will always have a soft spot for the Wild, obviously when they're not playing the Devils. But that's my story, Sam's story. It's fun to have other teams to watch.
Yeah. By the way, Vancouver's always effed with me. They couldn't beat the Rangers in '94, and then they traded Quinn Hughes away.
What's funny? People in Chicago still hate Vancouver too. I don't really get it, because the Hawks aren't my number one team and I cover them unbiasedly. But the Sedin era with Alexander Burrows, hitting. Who was it? Rafi Torres hit Marian Hossa in the playoffs, and that put him out for the rest of the series and the start of the following season. Ryan Kessler obviously got in a lot of battles with Jonathan Toews. So there's no love lost for the Vancouver Canucks around these parts, even to this day, too.
Yeah, and wasn't there something with Donald Brashear?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Marty a little further back.
Marty McSorley. But that had to do with Vancouver Canucks? I don't remember. I forgot which team it was on.
Remember the big trade with the Devils, too?
Yeah.
Corey Schneider for the 9th overall pick that became Bo Horvat.
Yep. Or even better, Todd Bertuzzi, when he that sucker punch that ended that guy's career.
Yep.
And police got involved. Oh.
The stories of police getting involved, like when Chara hit Pacioretty.
Yeah.
I mean, that's that always cracks me up.
Yeah, I remember I was going on a rant, getting police involved with Matt Rempe, and all these Ranger fans were listening into the podcast, and they were illegally streaming without my permission, and I was just completely trolling them.
That's amazing.
These listeners of ours are using my language. 6-pack pops. Morning woo was like 11 a.m. today. You'll be fine. Bull through it. I always say bulldog through it. It's going to be so late. It should be Devils after the game in the morning.
I mean, for you, it'll be after midnight, right? When it ends?
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be closer to 1 a.m.
1 a.m. to it. And, Scotty's monologue is going to be 5 hours long. And I'm going to be like, oh, no. He's probably listening in now, so I should shut up. Let's see. Guys, I'm a fan of whatever team my buddy is.
Who's your buddy?
Yeah. Well, I'm a fan of anybody that plays the New York Rangers. I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah. Big fan of whoever plays the Rangers.
Yeah.
Like, I love when those teams that I just mentioned, like the ones I root for when they're not playing the Devils, I love when they play the Rangers.
Yeah, Vinny, we've been talking like old hens right now, but let me just get this out here. Get your predictions in. Get your predictions in for this game because we will go over predictions, of course. So just to let you know, I don't know if you listened to the Morning Woo this morning. It was actually, I don't know if you did, but WFAN in New York, the number one sports radio talk. I mean, this is where sports talk radio actually was invented. Just the level of stupidity of some of these hosts that talk about. There was one host that was saying that Lundqvist by far is better than Marty Brodeur.
I mean, you want to give me Patrick Waugh. You want to throw Dominic Hasek. Sure.
Yeah.
I don't agree, but I'll take it.
But the reasoning is what gets me. Oh, he played with the trap. He had a great defense in front of him.
Every team in the NHL plays with a trap.
Yeah. And if you go back to when you go back to the 90s, okay? When the Devils used a trap, it was a problem. When Detroit was using it, they rebranded it the left wing lock. But that somehow that's okay. It's not. I'm pretty sure the
2000. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the 2000s Devils led the NHL in goals.
2001.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, and they went to the Cup final, lost to. I'm not going to bring up that Cup final. Every team in the league will try to stop you at the opposition's blue line. There's not a team in the league that doesn't have guys standing at the opposition's blue line every single play. That, by definition, is a trap. They don't want you to gain the offensive zone easily. That is a trap. Every single team in the league plays some variation of a defensive zone trap. They don't want you to get the puck in their defensive zone so you can create scoring chances. By definition, every team in the league plays a trap.
You want to hear something that's really crazy? Marty Brodeur played in 3 eras or 3 decades, right?
Yes.
So if you want to make a real comparison between Henrik Lundqvist and Marty Brodeur, they changed the game, the rules, because of Marty Brodeur, the trapezoid and all that. Just coincidentally, Lundqvist's career started in 2005. That was his rookie year. Marty swept him, in that year in 06 in the playoffs. Lundqvist, I believe, has 64 career shutouts in his career. Marty Brodeur from 2005 to the end of his career in 2015, which was less years than Henrik Lundqvist, has the same amount of shutouts, 64. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's how good Brodeur is.
Yes, Brodeur is a tick above. Lundqvist was great. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He probably deserved to be a Stanley Cup champion, and the Rangers continued to fail him. Henrik Lundqvist is incredible. He's handsome as hell. He is incredible. I have nothing but nice things to say about Henrik Lundqvist now that he's retired.
I don't think he should have been first ballot, though.
That's fine, especially since Carey Price wasn't. But because I think Carey Price in his prime was probably a tick better than Lundqvist, and I'm talking like a tick.
Yeah.
Better. But, the guy won a Hart Trophy. But Brodeur, they changed the rules of a sport because of him.
Yeah. Kind of like Will Chamberlain.
Yeah, exactly. Same exact thing. Now, Brodeur beat Lundqvist in a head-to-head series when Lundqvist was the young buck and Brodeur was in his prime. But let's not forget 40-year-old Marty Brodeur beat Lundqvist head-to-head when Lundqvist was in the smack dab middle of his prime. I think 2012, actually, statistically, was Lundqvist's best year. That's the year he won his Vezina trophy. I'm almost positive.
Yeah.
I would have to look it up to be sure, but I'm 90% sure Lundqvist's Vezina trophy was the year the Devils went to the Cup final and lost to Los Angeles, but beat the Rangers in the conference finals to get there. Brodeur was magnificent in that series, and you can't blame the trap for that series. You can't. I stand by every team plays the trap, but that they didn't have Stevens, Niedermeyer, and Danico in 2012. Who was their number one defenseman in 2012? Marek Zidlitsky was the power play quarterback.
Peter Harold.
Volchenkov was, Peter Harold, Anton Volchenkov. Like, there wasn't this Hall of Fame group of defensemen. The Rangers had better defensemen with Girardi and McDonough and, who am I forgetting on that team? Like, the Rangers were way better defensively in terms of talent on paper.
The other thing, too, which, Robert Eisen said the Rangers were 1 seed that year and the Devils were 6 seed. But one thing that was really funny about that whole playoff run, do you remember a woman named Lauren Rubino getting in a Twitter war with the Florida Panthers owner? And then he goes and he says to her, well, you only got 400 followers or something like that. And freaking, I think Greg Wyshynski went crazy and like retweeted it and like, boom, like she had more followers from the NHL.
That's funny.
And he had apologized. And then she got to watch Game 7 in the owner's suite with him there and watch Henrik. Henrique, did he score the overtime goal that game?
Yes, it was Game 6. It was Game 6.
No, I thought it was 7.
Or are you talking against Florida? Are you talking about Florida?
Florida, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was Game 7. It was Game 7. Henrique scored in double overtime. Yep.
Yeah, and she's in the owner's box, rubbing it in. But
that's incredible. But they had to win Game 6 and 7 in that series.
Just one thing that Rangers fans forget, though, early mid-90s and all that, there was no salary cap. The Rangers payroll was like what the Dodgers is now. It was what's that?
They traded for Gretzky.
Yeah, like their payroll was like $95 million or something like that in the late 90s. Getting some text right now.
They were the American Maple Leafs.
The American Maple Leafs?
In terms of ability to have a roster that is significantly more expensive than the rest of their division or rivals or whatever.
Also, the Rangers are the first team in NHL history to suffer 6 shutout losses through 17 home games. Thank you, Max.
They can't score a goal at home. It almost like annoys me. Like, even though I'm rooting for them, like I actively cheer for them to lose, I'm like, you're the New York Rangers. You suck that bad at scoring goals. Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I got to steer the ship right now. Let's get to these predictions. I got Select a Boy 4-3 Devils, Ted 6-5 Devils, Steve Engel says 6-2 Knights. Let's see here. Always Something 17 3-2 Devils. Eddie says 3-2 Devils. Jim Norton says 2-1 Devils. Max says 7-2 Golden Knights. Marner Hattie reverse psychology. Let's see here. Any more? Trying to scroll down here. All right, what's your prediction?
I think the New Jersey Devils win 4-3.
4-3. Okay. Jake Allen is the starter for tonight. Sorry, Max. I'm trying to find the lines here. Do you have the lines, Vinny?
I can get them for you.
Yeah, why don't you
They are the top line of Jesper Blatt with Nico Hischier and Dawson Mercer. Andre Palat with Cody Glass and Connor Brown on the second line. Paul Cotter and Stefan Nason will flank Lamico on the third line. Xavier Perrant will be with Beef Crookshank, flanking Glenn Denning on the fourth line. Are we allowed to call him Beef Crookshank? I always thought that was kind of funny. Siegenthaler with Hamilton, Hughes Pesci, Dylan White, Allen and net.
All right, so you got this 3-2 Devils, Dag for Hansen, 4-2 Vegas. I'm going to say because the Girl Scouts are there right now. 5-2 Devils. That's my prediction. Jake the Snake. Remember that name. Also, before we go, Vinny, January 6th, we're teaming up with Danielle McCartan. She's got a new sports travel company. There's going to be a bus trip from Secaucus, New Jersey to Long Island. See the Devils take on the New York Islanders on January 6th. Basically, and I don't know if you've been on with one of these sports travel companies, it's one price and includes transportation, the ticket, 90 minutes of pregame tailgate food, an open bar before the game. And we're going to be doing Game Day Live from that open bar. But we're also going to do Devils After Dark on the bus. So the mobile command center, once we put that on that bus will be renamed Woo Bus 1. As an Air Force One, Woo Bus 1.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. I like that. I like that a lot. That sounds amazing. I have not been on one of those types of things. I know True Fan Travel is one that kind of exists around here.
Yep.
And they offered a Bears to Vegas game earlier this year, and you pay like a certain fee and you got a hotel, plane ticket, a ticket to the game. So stuff like that, take advantage of it. Make sure you take this one. Go see the suddenly trending upward New York Islanders, who have that phenom Matthew Schaefer. They went from like my no watch list to like one of the teams I actively go out of my way to watch because of Matthew Schaefer. So go see the Devils try and beat them along with Sam Wu in January.
Yeah. And to find out for more information, email me, sam@letsgodevils.com. All right, going to get out of here. Thank you, Vinny. Thank you to everybody tuning in. We'll have Devils After Dark after the game. Till next time, let's go Devils.